many games of Terran versus Zerg Metal, so we know quite a bit about this matchup. Once again, this is TSL aLive versus Liquid HayprO. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have our orange Zerg HayprO, and in the top right, we have TSL aLive, the purple Terran.
Yeah, and Metalopolis, a map that actually favors Zerg quite a bit, especially
if you get that cross spawn.
Especially diagonal cross spawn. This is the worst possible setup for aLive, but you know, he really likes to hit those early timing windows, and a lot of times on Metalopolis, Zerg players will get rather greedy. They'll try and take a quick third. You know, obviously all the Zerg potential expansions on this map work around the outskirts of the map, so your opportunities for expansion are great, and they're so far away from the Terran that it buys you a lot of time to prepare defenses, and you can hold both the Xel'Nagas, so you'll know anytime the Terran's about to push.
The other thing that's really good about Zerg versus Terran on this map in the late game is the fact that there are two roads really to battle it out on. And not only that, a lot of times when Terran players attack you, they'll be set up somewhere around here, and there's many opportunities to flank that Terran ball with Zerg groups from the left, the right, the north, the south, and it makes it very difficult for Terrans to move out.
This is very true. Similar opening here, but aLive actually made his first Rax on the low ground, and we saw him use that 2 Rax push to great effect in game 1. So much damage was done with that.
We got Project Housing here going on the ghetto side of Metalopolis once again, Pain User.
What, the upper east side?
Upper east side, right next to Rob's Guns.
I know, that is the shady area of Metalopolis. We've been over this before.
This is the projects, man.
And it looks like HayprO is sitting cushy in the upper middle class area on the west side of Metalopolis, where they don't have the Rob's Guns.
Nope. Well, they are going to have a drone coming in here to do some potential scouting and exploration on the right side of the map.
I think he already found that Rax.
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
He did, but this time around, it's only a singular Rax. He did open up with gas here, and I think we're going to see a factory follow up here, but just judging from the position of the Rax, it's quite interesting. I don't know where he's going to put the factory. He's probably going to close off that wall with the factory and then build a reactor or an add-on with the Rax.
Yeah, a little interesting that he decided to throw the barracks on the bottom here. Of course, that's going to shorten the run distance for the Marines that come out. The drone right now trying to run around in circles to get away from that SCV. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and go for the gas steal here, which is kind of nice to do. You'll keep that drone alive for some time. Meanwhile, a bunker going up outside the natural hatchery.
Yeah, and that's really what the forward advanced positioning of that barracks gives him the option for. The Marine is actually going to get there much earlier than a normal Marine would.
It looks like he will kill off the SCV, though, so that Marine has no home to run into. Sorry, man, get out of the middle-class suburban area.
Well, he might actually be able to kill a drone or two here. There are no Zerglings out yet. We do have 4 in production. There goes 1 drone. Is he going to be able to get another one? No, he's probably just going to...
Man, these guys are gangsters coming in around here with guns shooting and blazing.
Take that first kill right there and back off. And I like that he's not getting too greedy, trying to work his way up into the main there.
Yeah, well, it looks like this Marine is still going around in circles right now. He's going to go back and probably eventually get picked off. There it goes. And a command center not going up for TSL aLive. So opening up barracks, factory, command center, extremely common opening here. And a lot of times Terran players will secure that expansion with a little bit of Hellion harass, which we now see Hellions on the way.
Yep, he's going to open up with reactor Hellions here. I like the tech lab on the Rax just in case he needs to build that single Marauder in the event that there's a roach rush. And then as soon as he gets those Hellions out, oftentimes you'll see players get 4 to 6 Hellions, and then they'll go ahead and swap those 2 up and put the Rax on the reactor, add additional Raxes, and then just take it from there.
Absolutely. Well, now we have Stim on the way as the first upgrade for those Marines.
That is a very early Stim.
Extremely early Stim, considering he was only on 1 gas as well. Only 1 Marine working down that extractor right now, which to HayprO probably looks like, well, the Terran player doesn't really want his gas that quickly. Still only operating off of 1. So HayprO doesn't have to worry about Banshees or anything like that. And the Hellions here may end up getting up the ramp. A great Zergling micro. But at the end of the day, the Zergling's just not good enough to prevent the Hellion from coming in. And it looks like TSL aLive will get a full-on scout.
Yeah, and he also has 2 additional Hellions working their way into the natural right now. They're going to bypass that spine crawler, head straight in and start working on the drones here. 1, 2 drones get picked off immediately, a 3rd as well.
Wow, this is actually being a very effective Hellion harass, and these Hellions could actually get out of here without dying. And TSL aLive will do just that. Meanwhile, the third
wow.
Hellion in the back was picked off, but aLive gets a very cost-efficient amount of harass in.
Yeah, you know, he's just been doing a great job with this early game harass against HayprO. He's kind of picking him apart in the early game. You wouldn't expect, you know, a lot of times players will shut down the Reactor Hellion build. It's really just a matter of investing in another spine crawler and then also blocking your ramp with a queen.
Yeah.
Surprised that we didn't see that from HayprO. I mean, he knew the Reactor Hellion opener was coming, but maybe he's just a little bit nervous, who knows?
Yeah, a lot of times Zerg players will oftentimes close off this kind of area with an evolution chamber too, or use buildings of some sort to make it more difficult for the Hellions to run in. And I'm actually surprised he wasn't able to use the Queen to block the ramp to more effect. Now those Hellions have come back, Ping User, and they're getting repaired, so no doubt they're going to come out and make some more damage happen in the near future. Stim is about to finish as well, and the second and third barracks have also neared their completion.
Wow, look how early he got that reactor on his starport. Not really sure where he's going to go from here. Probably going to get 2 medevacs pretty early and try and do a stim drop timing, which could actually be very, very effective. HayprO once again getting that third macro hatchery. And
the Ling's almost getting up that ramp. The supply depot's going up in the nick of time right there, and that is going to prevent those Zerglings from scouting, which is oh so crucial. This is that 7 to 9 minute mark around that time when you really got to get in with a scouting overlord or a scouting Zergling just to see what the Terran is up to.
And he did see that reactored starport, so he has to know that these early medevacs are coming. He needs to prepare with accordingly. Here we have him relocating one of his spine crawlers. And HayprO really lucking out right there on that scout. He's producing a ton of Lings right now. He's obviously very concerned about these drops. And I was going to say, if he didn't scout the reactored starport, he would have been in a spot of trouble because all these Marines with medevacs and early stim like this would have done so much damage if he hadn't been producing these Lings. But like you said, getting that crucial scout timing off is going to allow him to get enough Lings to hopefully deal with this.
Well, here comes those medevacs. They're going to drop all the Marines and the Hellions inside. Are there enough Lings to deal with this? Now, the Lings do not have the upgrades quite yet, and HayprO going with the mass Ling build once again. I think he should have enough to clear this off with the use of his Queen, maybe even the Spine Crawler. He shouldn't be in too much of a spot. Meanwhile, this drone is still having a hard time landing that hatchery down. So, in actuality, what TSL aLive is doing is just delaying that third for as long as possible, trying to harass a Zerg player and keep him on 2 base for as long as he can.
Yeah, not only is he delaying that third, he's stifling his macro. We see HayprO floating up to 650, 300 right now. The supplies are almost even, 77 to 75, and he's kept him to 2 base, now finally cleaning up that SCV at the third.
Yeah, he actually ended up sending all of his Lings up there to deal with that. And for now, it looks like those Marines are going to pull back from that medevac attack.
That's the worst when that happens. You think you drop a building, 2 minutes later you realize, oh, there's an SCV sitting there for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I couldn't drop my hatchery, but finally clearing that up, he will get that third going, and his creep spread is doing well right now. He's doing a great job with that.
We actually do have a Baneling nest on the way right now for HayprO.
There we go.
Okay, so he opened up with a bunch of Lings and then transitioned to a layer and then into a somewhat later Baneling nest. Now, the nice thing is with all the Lings he had out on the map, he was able to keep himself alive and he didn't die to any kind of power reactor build. Of course, TSL aLive didn't go for a power reactor, he just went right into starport medevac drop, and those Lings were able to keep HayprO in the game. Now the Banelings are out and Spire is on the way, so it looks like we're going to have HayprO go into Baneling, Muta, Spire, Baneling, Muta, and Lings, and it's actually a really good build to use against Terrans on this map.
We also have aLive grabbing a super, super early gold here, going to get a PF there, and he's denied scouting by holding this Xel'Naga with this handful of Marines and the medevac there, with just great positioning. He's actually maybe going to
save him. Oh,
those
saves those 3 Marines at the very last second.
And now HayprO does know about this expansion at the gold. He might be able to get in there before the PF gets up.
Oh my God, he is
ton of SCVs.
Going to get a bunch of SCVs here, ward them away, maybe about 6 or so of them going down before that PF finally got up.
And HayprO needs every little advantage he can get right now because both of these players are on even base. We are 3 base to 3 base right now, and in Terran versus Zerg, you generally want to be up a base, if not 2, on a Terran, especially on a map like Metalopolis.
Absolutely.
And HayprO looks to be setting up for some sort of a counter attack here. He has a bunch of lings
Unfortunately,
in the bottom
there
right-hand corner.
is no third expansion here to pick off where you would normally expect to see the third command center to be. It's actually at the gold, so those lings have really nowhere to attack unless they want to run right down to the natural. Now, one thing that HayprO is doing really well this game is his creep spread is absolutely phenomenal. So he should be able to deal with most types of Terran harass very easily. He's going to go ahead and get in here and pick off the reinforcing tanks and Marines, and that is a big play for HayprO.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to pick off every tank that he can. Whittled the tank count down to just 1 now.
Yep.
Things were getting a little bit scary there. aLive still macroing like a beast right now. 135 supply to 127.
This is insane. He is just showcasing pure dominant, more effective macro, and it's amazing to watch.
It's also due to the gold. I mean, he's had that gold for quite a while now. He's been muling up there, and he's really shutting down a lot of this these Ling run-bys.
Oh, is he going to get that tank? No, at the very last second, it stays alive. Morling's coming in. Is he going to commit to killing it off? No, he will not. He pulls those out at the last second.
1-1 upgrades for HayprO, 1-1 upgrades for aLive. Both players doing a really good job in that regard. 2-2 on the way for both of them, and we actually have air upgrades coming for HayprO, so
interesting.
I think he's going to swap into Ling Muta now,
and we
has the
actually
Infestor Pit as
see
well.
those Mutas doing a little bit of damage at the gold expansion. Meanwhile, Marines out of the medevac here are attacking the 4th hatchery of HayprO. Of course, aLive trying to do harass wherever possible. Now, the nice thing is this is not connected to the creep yet, so those Lings have a little bit harder time to getting over there. But maybe TSL Live is going to be able to not deny that hatchery. He has a great spot with his Marines here, able to funnel those Lings through that mineral choke point, and now the 4 Mutalisks arriving as well. The Marines going to repel that, and these Marines are absolutely hero Marines. They're going for the Mutas, and at the end of the day, they're going to pull away.
He might be able to save them, though.
Wow, beautiful play.
Hero Marines indeed. These 3 Mutas will probably be able to chase down that medevac, though.
Not without one more Muta kill at the end of the day, and they're going to get just that.
Look how many Marines aLive has moving towards the main actually right now. He has a drop going queued up around the bottom side towards the main, and then he's pushing through, denying the creep along the southern pathway on Metalopolis. Just doing a great job controlling HayprO right now, denying creep and preventing him from expanding all over the map.
And the Baneling speed has now finally kicked in. For the longest time, I was wondering when HayprO was going to get Baneling and Baneling speed, and we finally see him getting it in the second game of this series. That is quite a few Banelings. He could go crashing through that planetary fortress if he wanted to.
I don't know if he has enough.
And it looks like he's going to do just that.
I don't think he had enough.
And that's a huge commitment for the Zerg player. This means that he's essentially wasted all of his resources for absolutely nothing. We also saw TSL Live keep most of his SCVs on that refinery as well, and this is going to give TSL Live a great timing window to just counterattack and possibly outright win this game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. He did get a handful of SCVs there at the end, 2 Banelings that were not in on the suicide mission on the planetary fortress, blew up and took out quite a few SCVs, but it's not going to be enough. He's going for the all-in counterattack here, it looks like. No. Yes, no, yes.
Nah.
A little bit indecisive right now. HayprO trying to figure out what to do, sending his units all over the place. He is most assuredly going to lose this 4th. He may lose this 3rd as well. Marines running all over the place right now. And look at that tank spread from aLive.
Yeah, well, here comes the counter from HayprO. HayprO trying to go in here and break the Terran contain. He finally made up his mind, which is great because the longer you take, the more established the Terran player gets. And it looks like he just doesn't have enough to kill off that Marine pack. Really good Micro from TSL aLive here, but he loses a huge pack of Marines to the south. And with a fungal finishing off those Marines as well, it looks like HayprO may be able to stay alive. Well, he did take one of those hatcheries, so that is certainly a loss that he's going to have to find a way to get back with.
Yeah, but one thing that's kind of interesting is that aLive hasn't resaturated the gold yet. If you look at the saturation on his main, there we go. He's going to Maynard those SCVs over to the gold. He really needs to work on getting a 4th as well because that gold will mine out pretty soon here. We have a double drop going down at the main. We also have him moving into position even deeper into Zerg territory and continuing to trade so cost effectively, picking off Infestors, Banelings, Lings. And I don't know if HayprO can hold on here. This could be it.
Yeah, let's not forget those Marines are about to achieve their 3-3 upgrade as well, making them so difficult to deal with for HayprO. HayprO does have Hive Tech, but he hasn't really gotten a Greater Spire, nor has he gotten Ultralisk Cavern. I'm not sure where he wants to go with that Greater Spire. He really hasn't even gotten the 3-3 upgrades yet either. And at this point, there are just Marine attack parties and tank parties all over the map. You know, HayprO is gonna have to figure something out. This gold location is in such a precarious position because if you look at the mini-map right now, TSL aLive essentially has units surrounding that gold on almost every possible angle. And if HayprO loses this gold, I don't see him recovering in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it really is his only opportunity for an expansion, though. Like you said, aLive has units in position all over, burrowing some infestors here, but not enough energy to pop up in Fungal. He can only drop 2 infested Terrans, and that's certainly not going to be enough
helpful
to
at all.
win this battle.
But it actually draws a tank fire to allow the Lings to get up in there. The Lings target firing the tanks down. Really nice play by HayprO once again. But those Marines are going up to the topside expansion as they did remain alive in that battle, and they may end up popping off this hatchery as well.
Yeah, Ultralisk Cavern is on the way for HayprO, but I don't think he's going to be able to buy enough time to get to that late game Ultra phase.
Wow.
aLive just doing so much damage right now. Going to take out the third, it looks like. All of these drones are going to go down, and that's really HayprO's last remaining mining base. I mean, if he loses this, that's a sealed deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I really am impressed with TSL aLive's play so far. He's showcased a very solid mechanical Terran style. That Fungal coming down on those Marines, but with the 2 medevacs in the air, man, those Marines are relentless and resilient. They are not going down.
Look how
strong they are, man. They got the 3-3 upgrades too.
Yeah, Marines at this stage in the game are amazing, and look at how many reactored Raxes he has producing Marines right now. He can send wave after wave, and he's just attack moving right now with all of his Marines and his siege tanks. He's not even concerned with microing. He's just going to drive this game home and take the victory. HayprO holding on for dear life right now, but
this is Sauron Terran, huh?
Sauron Terran indeed.
And you guys
rallying
are
everything from every point on the map and just moving your way through the Zerg.
Yes.
And this, we said this before, it's just due to superior macro. Supplies right now, 184 to 45.
Yeah, what a bold decision by TSL aLive to go for the gold right in the beginning of this game. High risk versus high reward, really. And it looks like that time the reward turned out to be the right move to go for. So TSL aLive here has now picked off the natural expansion. Of course, now exposing those fragile buildings in the background, popping off the Evo Chamber before it could finish its 3-3 upgrade, possibly going to get the Spire and the final Evo Chamber as well. And at this moment in the game, I'm not sure what HayprO is waiting for. He has been knocked out. And ladies and gentlemen, this is single elimination bracket. So HayprO essentially now is out of IPL 3.
I think he's just letting things sink in. I've definitely been there before. Just kind of let it all soak in, play a little bit longer.
You've been there before, I've been there before.
We all love playing StarCraft, so just play a few extra minutes, enjoy your time on the stage, and
that's true.
Just let your nerves calm a little bit, because it is intense when you're playing up there. It is the most intense sport or form of sport that I've ever played, that's for sure. And aLive right now, attack moving his way towards the last few remaining buildings. HayprO burrowing some drones around the map. I don't know if he's going to start BMing and dropping refineries around the map, or the Zerg.
Well, maybe he really wants to prolong
extractors.
That adrenaline, as you said, inside the booth. Anyways, there's a GG, good luck. So HayprO calls it out. Well played by both players. And TSL aLive is going to move on in the championship bracket. HayprO has been eliminated from IPL 3.
At one point there, working off of 8 reactored Raxes, pumping 16 Marines per wave. That's not including the Raxes that didn't have add-ons. He was working off of 2 factories, adding a 3rd factory there at the end, just clean.